Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson and
Tamara Hassan.
broadcasting live from Ontario, Canada.
Yes.
Up here to resolve some executive workshop business and other affairs. And we're having a lovely time. And we only have about 30 minutes before having to catch a flight. But by popular demand, many people have asked for Tam and I to do a podcast together. So this is a pilot episode. Hopefully it'll be tragic and hip at the same time, thus tragically hip, in honor of our time in Canada. And so by popular demand, we figured we'd have a podcast at maybe 30 minutes to an hour, perhaps longer, depending upon engagement. Always live stream, because you know how much I love live streams. And we can talk about basically anything. Governance, we can talk about Cardano, we can talk about life, we can talk about philosophy, it's anything at all. You guys seem to love our dynamic, and I do too. And it's always so much fun when we have a chance to have a chat. So Tam, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, Charles. Thanks for asking. How are you?
It's been a day.
It has been a very long day here.
Yeah, it has been. Unfortunately, we have to work the weekends from time to time.
Yes.
But
that's okay.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I love what we do.
Yeah, so tell everybody about where you grew up a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's like the question.
So we have no format, by the way. We agreed not to discuss what we were even going to discuss. So.
Exactly. So I'm just ambushing here with questions.
Where did I grow up? I actually grew up where I'm sitting right now here in Dorchester, Ontario, which is a tiny little town that it's a nice little town. I'd say it's like a village. And I always said I probably would never come back here or live here, but now I'm here. I moved back kind of like a lot of other people during COVID. Do I look at you and like, how do we do this?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. We
format.
Really don't know what we're doing here. Yeah. So I always thought that I would never move back here, but because of COVID, I was in Toronto. I'm like, I don't really know anybody in Toronto anymore. So I came back to my tiny little village, and it's interesting. It's like the whole hero's journey thing where you eventually come home with the boon. The boon is ADA. The boon is Bitcoin and ADA. So I came back here, and I live in a small little town. It's interesting. It's what do you think of this town? You've been
so I had a chance to see London for the first time ever. I had in my head, because you kept saying it's a small village. Oh, there's no one here, and we went out, and there were skyscrapers. There's like 15-story buildings. Those are skyscrapers. Come on. Yeah. And so huge, massive buildings, the biggest ever for London, Ontario.
Yeah.
And actually there was a game store, and we bought some Warhammer figures and these types of things, which is fun.
Yes.
But actually it's a lovely, quaint little Canadian town. My most treasured memory was when we walked by the poutine shop.
Yeah, we actually took pictures because we're trying to create London memories for Charles here. Yeah, we have a poutine shop.
There's a poutine shop.
You saw.
There's a poutine shop.
Uh-huh.
Boy, it's a lot of fun. But what really struck me is the town was a juxtaposition of what I grew up in Broomfield of the 70s met with today. So if you go, where this small town Colorado, Broomfield, Colorado, you have all these buildings built back in the early 70s, and they have the brickwork and these things. And I see them in London, and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I'm used to as a kid. So I guess it was like a ubiquitous style, and everybody was copying it back in the day.
I mean, everywhere. Yeah. And we were talking about how you update this look of the 70s. I mean, the CN Tower in Toronto, I don't know if anyone's ever seen it here, or anyone from Toronto. It just looks like a relic out of the 70s. So I don't know if we have to reclad all these buildings. Everything's just a bit drab there. So I kind of want to zhuzh it up here in London.
Je ne suis quoi.
Yeah. But London's more of a city. Where I'm from here is more of a village. And I'm known as the crypto girl here. So kind of a lot of people know who I am just because I'm in Cardano, and you and us and what we do. So I'm known as the
I got a question.
Girl
I got a question then.
Here in town.
So how has perception in a small town changed during the boom and then after the boom, after FTX? Have you noticed a change in perception and how people perceive crypto in Main Street?
Yeah, I actually have. I have a neighbor like a few doors down from me, and my dad has a lot of businessmen and stuff. They all wanted to talk to me during the boom, and they're like, oh, this is the most amazing thing, let's chat. I mean, they've stopped calling. My neighbor, I don't know, it just kind of feels different, the relationship. But I was always very careful, like whenever anybody asked me about, okay, tell me about crypto, and they want advice on what tokens to hold, and I think you said this too, and my dad taught me that as well. I always say, don't invest in anything. Don't commit to anything you don't know about. Like, don't overextend yourself. So it's not like I'm here like shilling anything to anybody. I mean, of course I love Cardano, and I could say why, taking any sort of, position or interest in Cardano is very interesting. But I'm always very careful to say this is not investment advice. Firstly, these are not securities, these are tokens. And I explain the utility of the system and all of that. They seem open to it. They really like to learn about it. They really like to understand it. But I'm just very careful and not like shilling one thing or the other, or giving advice. They all think like I'm an investment advisor or something. They just don't understand. They don't understand the protocol. But there are some like little parties. My buddy Simon, he brings me to a party, and there's one guy there that knows about crypto. So like him and he likes Solana, and I think I had too many drinks the other time I saw him, and I was maybe told him how I feel about Solana's fine, but I'm a little opinionated when I have one gin and tonic.
I've never noticed.
Yeah,
ever.
But yeah, you find, but there's a lot of interest even at the arena. So we have a local arena. I used to play hockey. I'm Canadian, so I'm actually well known here for my hockey playing. My referee actually, who used to ref me, he lives in this little cul-de-sac that I live in. He lives right around the corner here, and he remembers me as a young hockey player. So I'm kind of infamous here. I used to. Moving beyond crypto, it's something that is always unfortunate, and why I brought up the question is that people tend to pigeonhole crypto. People say the only thing in life you do is crypto. Yeah, you're the crypto person. Yeah, but I have 6 companies. You actually have lots of other divergent interests as well. So, for example, you want to tell them a little bit about the fabric? Oh my gosh!
You got the book right there.
Yeah, I have a book on fabric.
Oh my God, you guys show the book. It's show and tell.
Okay. Oh my God, this is so great. Oops. Yeah, so I can't believe I'm showing this to people.
It's a show and tell book.
So this is a book on fabric, and it actually goes through like what are the different types of fabric, how yarn is made. I'm the kind of person like when I wanted, like I like fashion.
You gotta show the title.
Fabric for fashion.
This is such a cool book. It goes through plant-based fibers, animal-based fiber. They actually show some of the fiber cards in there.
Yeah, they got like these there. These are different, fibers. So you can touch them, and it tells you about them on the side there. And it gives you the yarns. So I'm the type of person that like I want to make some of my own clothes because I can never find what I like online. Even in Italy, I couldn't find anything. But I have to like understand it fundamentally first. So it's a bit extreme, but I want to understand first textiles. I mean, because fabric or fashion is textiles, right? You have to understand the fabric first and foremost. So that's why I'm probably going a little too deep into this. But then I bought all the things. I have a sewing machine and thread, lots of needles right over there. I did this with baking as well. I bought everything. I spent like $3,000 on Amazon for all the baking things.
And like how much have you actually baked?
I baked cookies twice.
I
had to make 2 batches because the first was not good. But I do that. Like, so it's just a thing that I do, that I get really into one thing and then I want to learn everything about it.
So there's an intersection between what you're thinking about, what I was thinking about. So for years, I always wanted to do something in textiles where we do something with exotic materials. And so years ago, I read this article. It's like a throwaway article about how these people in Wyoming and Utah genetically engineered goats to carry spider silk in their milk. So you go and milk the spider goat, and then you'd actually filter out the silk proteins, and they actually can weave it and make clothing or materials out of spider silk. Now, why people want to do that is that actually it's about twice as strong as steel. It's one of the strongest materials ever conceived, and you can't really industrialize it with spiders because they eat each other. So to me, it was like such a cool idea that you could genetically engineer something, and since we're now doing that with the bioluminescent plant work and the work at Colossal and other places, I always imagined that eventually material sciences would come through. But then there's that question of, well, what would the fashion look like with spider silk, and what else, and what other materials could you use? So it's a cool intersection.
It is. And I feel like they're always looking for new types of material to kind of differentiate. I mean, the fashion industry just kind of keeps recycling the same ideas over and over again. So I mean, is it truly as strong as steel?
Yeah, it's twice as strong.
Yeah. Well, What were you saying too? There's some fabric that can change according to your moods.
Yeah.
It's like a mood ring for.
Yeah, so there's two different
fabric.
types of materials, nanomaterials you can put on fabrics, and so one is what's called thermochromic.
Yeah.
And so basically, when the temperature changes, it changes color. In fact, we have several houses for IO in Longmont, and I went a little crazy decorating one of the houses, and in the shower of the basement of one of the houses is actually thermochromic tile that we got from Japan. But we don't ever tell anybody that there's thermochromic tile. They just go and take a shower, and then suddenly it goes from black tile to like multicolored rainbow, and they're thinking, "What the fuck just happened?" And usually, what I do is the day after, I say, "By the way, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but there may have been some psychedelics in that wine that you drank yesterday." So it's
for Jairus days.
Yeah, that's for Jairus days. Poor Jared Moroni's chief operating officer of IO, TAM's president. But so yeah, thermochromic is one material that you can put on the yarn. But another that you can actually do is that you can actually there's a project Google had. It was called Project Jacquard, where you actually can put transistors into semiconductors into the thread itself, and then you can compute with it, meaning that potentially you could actually have, through a series of electrical charges, the material change color based upon mood if it had some way of knowing what your mood is. It's a pretty cool topic, and it would be interesting to see where you can go with textiles, from color, style, how warm it is or cold it is. Like clothing can heat itself up or cool itself down based upon environmental conditions, or just the base materials like spider silk or improved things. Like I'm going up to Alaska here in a little bit, and we're going to actually take a look at muskox fur. It's apparently 5 times warmer than cashmere and twice as soft, which is nuts.
So you're bringing them on your ranch.
Yeah.
You're going to raise them on your ranch. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, the question is, will they kill each other? Because you got the muskox and the bison, and they, every time I ask people, like, do they get along? And they, oh, sure they do. But I've never actually met somebody who owns both of them.
How many are you getting?
Well, I'd like to get 300 to 500 of them.
Holy schmoly.
And depending on how delicious they are.
Yes.
That's a big factor.
Taste test.
All right, your turn to ask a question.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Gotta keep going.
Yeah, I know. I'm not yet. Well, you had Tyler Lindholm's messaging me right now. You had an interesting podcast last night, or a Twitter space last night on governance. How are you feeling after that one?
Well, I mean, it was 2 hours long.
I mean, this is your life right now.
Oh,
is governance. I mean, you do all these cool stuff too, to kind of like relax, and you have different interests and everything. But
I'm going to go full rabbi mode. So, what did you think? How did they governance?
How did it make you feel?
How did it make you feel?
How did those questions make you feel?
Yeah.
Are you
alone and sad? I understand the community, and I understand where they're at. There's a lot of fear, and they're in transition, and there's a lot of people that they lash out, or that they want things to stay the same, but things can't always stay the same. The only constant is change, especially when you talk about a dynamic protocol or product. And Cardano is a very dynamic ecosystem. It's one that has grown from just a few people to millions of people, and we really do need a different way of doing governance with Cardano. The problem is that people come from many different political systems. Some people come from authoritarian governments. In fact, the SIP 1694 workshop, we had a gal from Jordan there. She's like, we have a king. We don't do this whole democracy thing. You guys are a little different. And obviously, Cardano was founded in Japan and Switzerland, radically different countries in terms of governance. Switzerland doesn't even have a president. They have somebody who occupies that role, but that's just the chairman of a 7-person board in a confederacy. So from one perspective, I understand the difference of opinion and fear. And it was just really nice to have a good conversation with people and dig in. And what I found was that, at least my experience being there, is people enjoyed it. And they really liked to be seen and heard. You were kind of on the outside. I know you were listening in. So
I have been listening in a lot. Like, I listened to the contingent staking debate. So what I think a lot of people don't understand about me is that I listen to debates internally inside our own companies. So oftentimes these are things that we had to sort of solve, not contingent staking or governance, but we have internal discussions, right, with folks, and there's so many different opinions. So I'm used to that, and less like really listening to, for the first time ever, I think contingent staking was the first time I ever heard personally a debate like that in such a format. It was Dumpling, right? And Bullish Dumpling and Rick. So I watched Charles's videos, and then I watched the debate, and and then I listened to the one last night, with you guys on the governance debate. I mean, and I've listened to other Twitter spaces before. I mean, I go down Twitter space rabbit holes, especially during the FTX stuff. I don't know. I actually think we're actually everybody seems to have a very unique, mature opinion on it. Some of these Twitter spaces I listen to, it's just like, no offense, I don't know if it's just, they're painful to listen to. And it's just, you have people rambling on or asking just really silly questions. But I found last night, particularly, everybody had a really, really good questions. I mean, some of them were more challenging than others, of course. But I feel like you've built a very thoughtful community. That's what I thought about the contingent staking. I actually messaged Rick, and I meant to message Bullish Dumpling, who is awesome, by the way. Like, she needs to moderate so many things, because it's just the way and manner they both did it. I thought it was just very respectful. And it's, to me, sort of the beginning of how you debate and how you do argumentation in a very sort of measured, respectful way. And I'm just repeating sort of what other people said. Maybe you said last night, and I say it all the time in our own company. I mean, I just think the maturity there in learning how to debate something and debating the same set of facts is something that always keeps coming up with me. Even in our own company, like, we think that we're talking about the same thing, the same set of facts. I saw that with contingent staking, because people were conflating the layer 1 argument with the layer 2 argument. And you're like, no, I'm talking about the, so I think that however you and us and the community debate in the future, even when the MBOs really stood up and debates happen, I think agreeing on the set of, like, what we're actually debating, the set of facts, is going to be really important in the future. But no, I thought last night was actually really positive. I know you wanted to wait for 1694 and all the transcripts and all that stuff to come out and everybody to participate in it. But I thought it was I learned a lot actually from listening to that, and about the early stages of even, your own country. I'm in Canada here, but I know a lot about, how your country was founded with Washington and everything. And I thought that was just very instructive. It's just very hard. It's very hard stuff, but we're living and breathing it. I've been involved in Voltaire for a while too, just kind of behind the scenes, putting the team together at IO and helping with it. And it's been a long journey. It's been a very interesting journey, but it's amazing to see the people and community kind of all come out and debate this now. So.
Yeah. Were there any highlights, any particular questions that really stood out to you?
Well, I like when people challenge us, honestly.
The trident questions. I have 3 trident questions. So
I think it's a fair thing. Like, I think people are always going to want to say, okay, well, is IOHK or IO, whatever we end up calling ourselves. I'm going for IO, by the way. Some people call us IOG, IOHK. I'm going for IO.
Yeah.
When we do our rebrand.
But by the way, guys, we moved years ago from Hong Kong to the US and to a company called Input Output Global. We just never bothered to update the website. And we were always like, oh yeah, we'll do that in 6 months. Yeah, we'll do that in 6. I think it's about 2 years, 3 years now.
Yeah, I know. We'll do that though. Well, we've been busy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Actually, one thing that you've been transformational in, that's made my life and a lot of people's lives a lot easier in the business, has been transforming input output and introducing the PI system, the squads and tribes. You want to talk a little bit about that?
I don't know. Is that kind of a boring subject? We had a snowmobile going by here. It's a very Canadian moment. And my dogs might start barking. So, I mean, yeah, we have had to transform the way that we've done things as a company. Building complex software is hard. It's hard to do because you have research to product to engineers and engineering and commercially driven decisions, community driven decisions as well, and commercially driven decisions, sometimes on behalf of the community and sometimes on behalf of the company, is very hard to coordinate people also in a decentralized environment. So when you guys really dive into the governance stuff and the MBO and everything, that is what makes or breaks a project, is how you actually, I told you, plan together, and how you plan, and then how you get the work done. So we do PI planning. It's incremental planning every 3 months, but it's really about, like, first setting your strategy. Like, what is your strategy? I heard this too on the contingent staking debate. I don't know who asked it. It was a woman, and she asked about, like, what's the product requirements? So I think always going back to tethering it to, okay, but what's your strategy? What's the product strategy? What are the requirements driving this product forward? Cardano is a lot harder because Cardano could be so many things to so many different people. It could have so many different use cases. So I think that's been sort of the difficulty with Cardano, which everyone's going to realize once you really do the Cardano. I mean, eventually when you look to the future of Cardano as well and do the roadmap, it has to be driven by products and product decisions, and it has to be based on something to plan. So yeah, we've reformed our whole company, and now we're in these beautiful incremental planning cycles, and we set strategies at the beginning, and the product sets their strategy. We set the business, the product strategy, and the team gets about a week to plan, and then they go for 3 months. You don't interrupt them. We don't interrupt them.
I try not to.
He tries not to. I think in the past there was some more interruptions to the team, and when you're interrupting a team that's like driving forward that way, especially engineers, it's really hard to kind of disrupt them and say, oh wait, no, we're going to go this way. But things changed in our industry very quickly, so you need to be agile.
I mean, it's always a difficult thing because one hand you're talking about an open source project, then you talk about a project where we don't fully control the deadlines because it's community curated, and it's obviously you have to get consent to do an update to that product. Then you talk about a research driven product where no one's ever written this type of software before because it's new protocols. So it's really hard to get consistency and predictability with it. And what I like about the system you implemented and the team is really executing on is that we at least know problems earlier.
Yes.
You know, I kind of have a reputation. It's news to me. It's shock to me. But I kind of have a reputation for sometimes missing deadlines, you know, and announcing deadlines that perhaps in hindsight weren't the best. And a lot of people were always curious, like, how did we get it so wrong? And it really actually was the case that there were operating systems at I/O where we believed at the management side that things were imminent, that actually upon review were 6 months or 9 months away.
Yeah.
And that's pretty messed up. Most people say, oh, hey, that's how would you get in a situation like that? But it just, some cases it's hard when you have a confluence of these factors together, as some is inexperience of the team or overconfidence or new things that came up or a bug that was harder to, but some cases it was just, we got it wrong.
Well, this person says, JDP says, it sounds like a lack of focus. Sorry, I'm not used to this like whole comments thing, so I'm like reading the comments as they go. Turtles for
all
prison.
All you gotta do is just click
2023.
All you gotta do is just click the
oh my God.
The comment, and then it brings
really?
It up. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
like it brings it up for everybody.
Yeah, click it.
Let's just do this one.
There we go.
Oh, great to have you guys on the Chaz Gingersnaps. Thank you.
There you go. And actually, it'd be great to take some audience questions a little bit because we have about another 10 minutes.
Some trolls in the comments would like Cardano in Egypt. I love Egypt, actually. That would be great. Okay, yeah, we'll do the comments. Sorry, they are very distracting. And
you hide the current comments so it doesn't stay around forever.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hide current comments.
There we go.
There we go. Behave, chat. Laugh out loud. Sorry. Okay, I'm like this is like a new squirrel thing for me here. Okay. This is good. I can see why you do AMAs.
It's great. You know, and right now there's over 553 people watching just from the YouTube side. Twitter will probably get about 5,000 to 10,000. So it's pretty good.
Amazing. Yeah. But the point is it's been a challenge, but that I am going to get involved as much as I can. I mean, I know everyone's like, well, she's never on Twitter or whatever. Like I am very busy when internal to, I'm a busy businesswoman and internal to IO, but I think there's just going to be a lot of stuff, you know, once the MBO is set up and everything. I'm pretty passionate about a few things that I hope to just help support, you know, like workshopping. That's a thing that I know you guys are going to do the 1694 workshops. Like they're going to proliferate about 5 of them. And that's so cool.
It's funny because she says 5, I say 20. The next
you
time
said 20.
Next time I should say 30. But
I thought it was 5 though.
Started at 5. I said 5 to 10.
Yeah.
You see how it creeps up on you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how I find out about things. No, you're very ambitious, and yeah, I think we agreed to fund some of them too. But workshopping is really important, like how you actually run a structured workshop on getting to an answer and what outcomes you want. So it's cool that you guys, you know, you used a proper facilitator, and you'll do, you know, the community will lead at this time, and folks like Rick. So no, that's good. But I have a lot to say when it comes to getting GST, getting shit done, and getting work done. So I'm happy to help and support. He's always trying to push me to do these types of things and kind of get out there a little bit more. And as president, I have to be a little bit less hands-on, which I'm very hands-on right now in the organization. I'm actually rebuilding an entire business model called Integra. And I'm working with John Vandergrift on that. So we're rethinking how organizations even work. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like my life's mission is to figure this stuff out. I love different operating models too. I study them all, and we have our own operating model. Study things like holacracy. I know that's a bad word, but like there's moments of it that are great. I really think about how to structure an organization. So I'm always very busy, but I think I'm just going to help a little bit.
Tam, the vast majority of people don't even know what holacracy means.
This community does. No, I started talking to this community before about it, and then I got a really awesome, like strongly worded letter about how terrible holacracy is. But it was very well articulated. This is what I love about this community is like there's so many smart people here, and even if I don't agree with their opinion, I think they articulate it very well. I think a lot of them think you talk too much. I think that's
Well, I think we have a comment right here.
Hosky and Love.
No, scroll it up a little bit.
I don't think if you knew us, he's no. You do not know what that is.
Yeah, scroll up.
Like that this way?
I didn't think anyone could out-talk Charles. Ha ha! Ha ha! Yes!
Oh, shit. So I remember when Seb said I was a little bit like you too. And I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you say that. I guess I maybe do talk a little.
By the way, we've known Sebastian since I think the first time we met him was January of 2019 in Berlin.
Was it in Berlin? Yeah.
Yeah, for the Ledger workshop when we were actually formalizing all the specifications.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's where we discovered that Duncan was an amazing ice skater. You want to tell that story?
Oh yeah, Duncan was skating. Yes.
Like Blades of Glory, amazing.
Like
Duncan
I bet him again. I think I started to tell you guys I play hockey. I've skated before I could walk, and I was all cocky. And I'm like, yeah. I took them all like public skating, and we had a race around it. That was in Berlin, yeah. And I said I would beat them all, of course. Like look at Duncan too. I'm like, you're a wizard. You're not a skater. You can't skate. Yeah. So we had a race, and he absolutely killed. Like he skated faster than me. He won.
Yeah.
It was very disturbing.
And she was kicked out of hockey for being too violent.
No, I wasn't too violent. I believe that, body contact is part of the sport. Yeah.
All right. We have a time for about one or two audience questions.
Out talk though. This is Charles L though. This is just one of your.
It's one of my alter egos. I was texting while you weren't paying attention.
Oh my God. I don't talk more than you. What do you think about fuzzy logic? Says it looks like your head is on fire. We're going to be a meme? Ooh, that's exciting. I don't really see any questions yet.
Keep looking for them.
Every team needs an enforcer. Yes, indeed. To quote Peter Pan, where's that one? I just saw it. No, I don't see.
Come on, guys, ask some questions.
Oh, this is a question for you. Will Cardano have it?
Yeah, I have to click it.
But then it went away.
It's gone forever.
I need my glasses, my creepy glasses. Okay, let's do this one. I'm just going to pick this one. Charles, can you talk about CNFTs a bit? The community is so vibrant and supports Cardano and lots of very smart people there.
All right. Well,
that's a good question.
I'll punt it over to you since you're new to the CNFT space. What do you think?
You're punting it to me?
Yeah.
The exchange or the marketplace?
No, CNFTs, Cardano NFTs.
I thought you meant the actual marketplace as well. I think we are ripe for so much. I've actually was helping a project as a friend of mine, and he was deciding on what chain to build on for his little NFT project. Not little, it's a great NFT project. It was a very interesting NFT project. And, I was like, well, I'm in Cardano, so you could probably use me, use my contacts. And through that process, I actually learned a lot about the NFT space. And, he was trying to get well, firstly, he didn't choose Cardano. Let me just say that, because he's like, you guys don't have enough activity. You don't have enough TVL. You don't have
bold-faced lies, by the way.
I know. And I
don't like this friend very much.
Well, let's just say we got a little bit of a fight, but but I went through it. I was like, but we have a great exchanges on there. We're just starting right when it comes to the NFT space. So I was trying to sell it to him. He ended up going with Poly, but I think there's just a lot we could do with the marketplaces, with actually just simple things like getting back to somebody. Like what I found with him is that he was going to OpenSea, and he was talking to Mintplex was another person he was talking to eventually create his NFTs. I think what our space could really do well is really being very customer focused and making it easier for people that aren't developers to launch an NFT project. So what's the exchange, or the marketplace we invested in?
Well, so there's JPEG Store, and then there's also NMaker, and they're very different. So JPEG Store is kind of the canonical marketplace that most people use, but NMaker is kind of the turnkey platform. A quarter, I think, of all the NFT projects have been brought on to Cardano by NMaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're the turnkey thing. So they would be like if your very specific friend wanted to come on to Cardano, which he won't because he hates us. Just with unrelenting passion and fire with it. It's just jealousy. He just doesn't. He's just not that cool.
No, but this guy's new. No, but it's a very interesting use case, guys and gals, too. Like he's just new to the space, so he's just reading what he's reading. He's just navigating how he's navigating.
Right.
And he's just chosen not to build with us because he actually said to me, "Well, you guys should pay me in Cardano to build with Cardano." I'm like, that's not how this
first it's ADA works. That's what you want to ask for.
Like we're going to go to the company of Cardano and pay you to, that's not how that
does not happen.
Yeah. Okay. So JPEG Store and so I think, if we can just make it a little bit easier and more accessible to people. Again, even all of these projects or even all these exchanges or all these marketplaces or all these companies he was talking to, they didn't get back to him very quickly. He found it was just a really excruciatingly painful process. So I think making it not painful for folks and really marketing to guys like that, that aren't engineers and really helping them launch their projects would be really great. But I think we're just getting started. Are we not?
Yeah. Marlowe for NFTs is something we're looking into to see if we can make it a turnkey, low-code, no-code solution to issue NFTs, or at least program out the logic of how NFTs work. Binding intellectual property in NFTs is something that's near and dear to my heart.
I don't think anybody's solved that problem yet. Binding, and I think we could do great if Marlowe could actually solve that problem too.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see if we get an extension for something like Open Law or Katala and put those things together. I mean, we've already looked at putting identity with NFTs, so that was the verified NFT standard that the Prism teams talked about. But it's early days, and the thing about NFTs in Cardano is it is the most vibrant part of Cardano at the moment. It's the fastest moving. 8 million assets have been issued. I think more than half the projects are in some way NFT related, and that's just exciting to see that level of durability, resilience, passion, and excitement.
But again, I think it's just getting started though, and we could do things differently than some of these other marketplaces or ecosystems. And it's also about cross ecosystem enablement as well, making sure that if there is a project that launches on one chain, that it can, also be enabled on another chain. That's a lot of problems are the interoperability problem, but then you have to make sure the way you program the NFT that it's not being double spent and all that stuff. But I think there's just huge opportunity there for us.
See that one up there?
Which one? Where can I create NFTs? Which one?
Let's see here. Scroll down.
Paint chip. I'm part of your friend is part of the paint chip brigade.
Yeah.
Blow at High Dough. Oh my gosh. Oh, who is this? Is this a Canadian?
Then New Orleans thinking.
Blow at High Dough.
What's High Dough?
Oh my gosh. See, this guy gets the reference. He gets the Tragically Hip reference. It's a great song. This is New Orleans is Sinking Man, and I Don't Want to Swim. So the Tragically Hip is the band that he's cited here on our first. It's my favorite band in the world. So which one did you want me to play? You guys made for each other. Go for it, Hosky. What? What guitars are those? Oh, I can bring that up.
All right. Well,
I don't know what this one's called. You're not going to be able to. Yeah. So I have my gosh, I think I've got like 11 guitars. This one is made by a Canadian company called Blueberry, and they pick the wood for you, and they actually designed it. So they actually made Aerosmith, Steve Tyler or Joe Perry, his guitar as well. So this is called Blueberry. You probably never heard of this manufacturer, but isn't it awesome? I love dragons. So, and then this is also like my tattoo is a treble clef on my back. So they were able to like engrave it. That's so cool.
Well, you got to play it.
Nope. Not on this one. I would play next. One time I'll play a Tragically Hip song, maybe. Other guitars I have, I have an electric guitar back there. That is a Strat, which I sort of back in the day put together the electronics on that one and just did some cool stuff to the face of it. And then I have a Martin, which is, if anybody plays guitar, my Martin is broken. It's actually cracked all the way down.
Does anybody fix guitars? If so, put it in the comments.
Does anybody fix guitars here?
Send us a
It's
message.
really cracked though. It's
like
really
irreparably cracked, or just kind of
I
cracked?
believe it's irreparable, yeah, because it's all the way down the
How
back.
much crack we talking about?
I'm talking about a lot of crack. Crack is whack, and this is really sad. Like, this is my baby.
And there you have it, kids. Come to London, Ontario for crack. Well, anyway, I wish we had more time because it's just getting good. But unfortunately, I do have to catch a flight.
Yeah.
And this has been a lot of fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this regular in some way, maybe every 2 weeks, every month. And there'll be longer episodes and probably a bit more topical. Like, we didn't even talk about anti-aging. The lovely Dr. Mark Hyman. That was
that was
traumatizing.
That was really traumatizing.
And so, and anyway, just a chance to mix things up a little bit. As many of you have said that my monologues are awesome and my broadcasts are awesome, but maybe listening to me talk for 3 hours straight is not the best thing in the world. And it is nice to mix it up a bit. And as many of you know, Tamara has been with the company since, gosh, I think
for 5.5 years, almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years now. And we've done events in Portugal, done events in Scotland, done events all around the world, Switzerland, Japan, you name it, we've done it. Actually, no, we've never done Japan.
No, we haven't. We should do the next Chaz and Gingersnaps. And we're going to eventually have a jingle and everything.
For this.
Yeah. We're going to do the next one probably at Milken. We're going to Milken in end of April.
Yeah. It's in,
maybe we'll do one on the road.
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's over in Beverly Hills.
We'll have other people. We can have other people come.
Oh, yeah, of course. And actually, this format's nice because we can interview people and, really, really just have a lot of great memories. But it's our attempt to mix things up a little bit and show that there's actually more people at I.O. than just me, believe it or not. And actually, some of the people at I.O. are really special and have done amazing work. The work that Tam has done with the company is pretty remarkable and has been a bedrock of transformation and change. We always appreciate that. So this is the first episode of Chaz and Gingersnaps. This is Charles, a.k.a. Chaz, signing off.
This is Tam, a.k.a. Gingersnaps, signing off as well.
Thank you so much. And to end it, all you have to do is click end broadcast.
Bye, folks.